Greetings, one and all. This is London Elektricity, bringing you the Hospital Podcast, episode 375.
Fire is the blue flame. Mix that with the propane, butane. My torch scorch, no remorse if you complain. Let it fall, cover them all in hot rain. Let's take it up, go higher than the airplane. It moves fast with the weight of a freight train. It's insane in the brain and the mainframe. Let it fall, cover them all in hot rain.
And out today is the brand new EP by Krakota. It's been a long time. The man's been on an epic journey all the way to Mongolia in a granny car. I'm going to get him in to talk about that soon. Meanwhile, check out the EP. It's amazing.
Cover them all in hot rain.
This tune, featuring the unmistakable tones of Dynamite, is Hot Rain.
Yes.
And today I'm happy to say we are back in the controlled acoustics of my home studio. No ghetto room sounds to contend with before the hospital studio is built.
The hardest part of the fire is the blue flame. Mix that with the propane, butane. My torch scorch, no remorse if you complain. Let it fall, cover them all in hot rain. Let's take it up, go higher than the airplane. It moves fast with the weight of a freight train. It's insane in the brain and the mainframe. Let it fall, cover them all in hot rain.
Now, Hot Rain is something that you definitely did not experience at Hospitality in the Park on Saturday. We had an absolutely amazing day. It was a sellout show. We had 12,500 people in the park.
Let it fall, cover them all in hot rain.
And the powers that be, the gods of the weather, decided that we needed cooling down a little bit. So, we had a little bit of drizzle, let's say. All of the tents are absolutely rammed. Some incredible sets going down. I think my favourite was actually Uncle Doug's in Jungle Jam, followed by Carlos Spy doing his dubplate style set. Absolutely amazing. And back to the main stage. I really enjoyed my set with Degs. Degs smashed it. You lot smashed it out there. And then this guy came on, Byrd, launching his album Atomic Fun. Danny absolutely killed it. From his album, this is iDragon. Come on, Danny. Show us what you're made of. SD. And I've got to congratulate Danny. Last week, his album was the UK's #1 artist album in the National Dance Chart. Absolutely massive. So we've got a few shouts to get back to. Yes, we are going old school. We've got a shout. Jamie wants to dedicate a mix to Marcus Faulkner, Le Host, his brother, who has very sadly passed away. Shouts coming in on Instagram. I asked people what their hobbies were, what they're doing. Gorg Von Orb says, I am working on new 3D graphic stuff for our radio show. That sounds like work, not a hobby. And T Forgotten says, what up? Jeff from Boston here. I make infused liquor. That's American for spirits. I'll be bottling a toasted walnut and cinnamon vodka and an early grey gin. Big up. Ooh. I quite like gin. What's early gin? Please let me know. And I've got to give shouts out to our outgoing and incoming staff. We say goodbye to Simone, who's been running the web shop for the last 3 years. Simone has got a place at Tile Yard Studios on a songwriting degree course, 3-year songwriting course. What a dream. Good luck with that, Simone. I wish you all the best. And don't be a stranger. And incoming, we have a full-time merchandise designer who goes under the name of Ollie. And also coming in to actually run the web shop itself, to coordinate all things web shop and warehouse oriented. Your point of contact when you get orders will be David Lopez, who has been mentored by none other than Dave Drone Boy, concrete junglist extraordinaire. So yeah, very, very exciting staff changes at Hospital Records. Deep, dark and dirty, bass around 30, hurts when it hits you. Now you may be aware of a young man called Unglued. He's just had an immense remix of If We Ever by High Contrast. He's got an EP release coming up on Hospital. It's dropping very soon. This is Deep, Dark and Dirty. Get deep, dark and dirty. What? Come on, come on. And this is available for pre-order right now. It comes out on the 19th of October. Also upcoming on Hospital is the debut album from Might Kiss. Dark and dirty, bass around 30, hurts when it hits you in your chest, real murky. It's called Crate 67. That's not dropping till the 2nd of November. I'm going to get Johnny in for a full reveal. But meanwhile, if you check out on YouTube, I think or Facebook, on his Facebook channel, there is a mini mix of the album. Search for it, it's amazing. It's a little taster. Deep, dark and dirty. And today, Krakota releases his C for Miles album. EP rather, 4-track EP. Yes, Baz, I cannot wait to talk to you about your rally to Mongolia. Deep, dark and dirty, bass around 30, hurts when it hits you in your chest, real murky. Everybody in the rave trying to get flirty. Get off your phone, stop keying that QWERTY. Deep, dark and dirty, bass around 30, hurts when it hits you in the chest, real murky. Everybody in the rave trying to get flirty. Get deep, dark and dirty. Shay Stokes 91 says, hey Tony, I bumped into you on the way out of hospitality in the park and I got a quick snap. Which could have been a washout, but was an incredible event, by the way. Could I get a shout out to Chris? We're both long-time fans of the podcast, and he couldn't make it last weekend as he had a gig on in the Isle of Man. So he gave away his ticket to my little brother, who fell face first into the mud. Ruined his phone, but still loved his first rave. Hashtag Turtlegate. I don't know what that means. Alex Hamilton is just packing away the last few things for his holiday this week, heading to Greece. Yes, mate, have a wicked time. The weather's good down there. Now, one of the most influential producers on the entire scene, one of the most well-respected and hard-working drum and bass producers is DJ Dye. And he has remastered all of his best-known singles, and they're available, I believe, on his Bandcamp. It really needs little introduction. It's called Jitta Bug. So good to hear this again. Massive shout out to Dye. This takes me right back to when I started DJing drum and bass. Too much, not too little. Everything is rolling in exactly the right place. Also got to give a shout out to Tile Yard Studios for having me and Chris the Goose Goss down to give a seminar on how we A&R. And quite a few people stepped up and presented us with almost exclusively vocal demos, which was quite good. We discovered about 3 really good vocalists who I'm hoping will be kind of absorbed into our family, as it were. Big shout out to Wisdom for hosting it, and also to the fact that they've actually got their own brewery next door. It's rather good. Anyway, shouting from David, who says, Tony, first off, congrats on an amazing festival in Tisno. Myself and the family loved every minute. The track that I can't get out of my head is that remix of Comics Be True by Bob. When's it coming out? Well, as far as I know, it's not coming out, because the original's by Comics. It was released on Metalheads, got signed to Med School, and I think everyone's really happy that it's a bootleg. Anyway, David says, for myself, there were too many highlights to mention, too many great tracks, but one of the tracks is the remix of Cinematic Orchestra that you played. Is that coming out? Well, that's by Edwards, and it's a bootleg, and no, it's not coming out, it's another one. Sometimes it's quite good when things aren't available and you can only experience them when you go to an event. And David says, the biggest laugh of all was the Influences set that you did with Chris, and you asked the audience for a choice between a Toy Story song or Susie and the Banshees. Everyone asked for the Toy Story song, so you played Susie and the Banshees, Hong Kong Garden, which had me down the front, Po going away. That was a good laugh, actually, I have to say. Thanks for that, David. Now, this is really, really nice. This is a tune by Kabuki working with BSN Posse, and it's called Elevate. Deeper business right here on the Hospital Podcast with me, London Elektricity. I have to give a shout out to my dog Pippin. The lady culminator took him out for a walk this morning and he rolled in a decomposing dead rat. If you've ever had your own dog, you will know that they do, particularly male dogs, do have a tendency to like to roll in things on the back of their neck. It's a kind of marking thing. Usually it's fox stuff or dog stuff, but this is a new one, a dead rat. Why is he called Pippin? Well, you see, when we got him not quite 2 years ago, about a year and 3/4 ago, we sort of had a family democratic vote system where everyone put forward 3 names and then we all voted them, including my mum. I think my mum wanted him to be called Bonzo or something. Which I was up for actually, because that's the nickname of John Bonham, the drummer of Led Zeppelin, but no one else was up for that. Anyway, Pippin was there because the chairman had just finished reading Lord of the Rings. So, and it also, a lot of the other, we had Ziggy because David Bowie had recently passed away, but that was just, you can't really name your dog off to such a legend like that. You would feel a bit of an idiot in the part. Ziggy! Ziggy, come back! Just come back! Stop chasing that cat! Come back, Ziggy! See, it wouldn't work. I mean, Pippin also sounds stupid, but it kind of works. Anyway, that's who he is. Right, let's head back to the world of Krakota now, the magical Sonic Garden. The island, the planet Krakota. This is Callback from the Sea for Miles EP. Michael Wright has written in to say, "Hi Tony, not sure when the next podcast is. I know they've been a bit thin on the ground. I'm sorry, we've been moving buildings and all sorts of things. But I would like to ask for a shout out to my lad Seb. He's 9. And I'm slowly but surely educating the little fella in D&B. Bit of a slog, but Devil's Drop, High Contrast, Injures Blow Them Away, and his current fave of Polymer by someone called London Electricity have us bouncing in the car. He would love a shout if you could squeeze it in. Cheers and thanks for the tunes, Mike." Seb, this is for you. Continue your education in drum and bass. You will never forget it, and you will thank your dad for the rest of his life and your life. Everyone's life. No, you are lucky to have a father who actually loves drum and bass. It's safe to say that mine did not. Then he was about 200 years old when the first drum and bass tune was ever made, so that makes me about 150. Andrew Fleming has written in to say, "Tony, thank you for the Syncopated City album, the director's cut. It reminds me what goes into the albums that we now take for granted. I remember buying your early albums on iTunes. I only really got into drum and bass in 2008 after hearing your podcast. But one thing it reminds me also, when I used to buy albums like that, I used to listen to them and enjoy them. But because of streaming, a lot of albums that I listen to now become watered down. Because for £10 a month, I have access to absolutely everything. So, therefore, I'm not enjoying those albums as much. I'm jumping from one to the next, and I'm not stopping to appreciate all of the work that went into one album, which is kind of sad, as I used to have these favourite albums, but now I just have these huge playlists. Anyway, I think I'm going to actually go back to purchasing albums. I love what streaming has done, but at the same time, I realise it's ruined what I loved a lot about drum and bass albums that I used to buy. Anyway, I'm waffling on, but I missed that whole part of my life when I was young, enjoying these albums, someone's masterpiece, and appreciating the music so much more." Andrew, I hear you on that. What I like to do is to discover music on Spotify or whatever, and then dive into the album and listen to the whole album if I can. That's a really good way of doing it. We are back to Danny Birdsville, and this is of course Lizard Steppa from the Atomic Funk album. And you need to catch Danny playing out. He is playing out a lot at the moment. You don't want to miss his show. So talking of events, yes, we are coming back to the beach, Hospitality on the Beach 2019. It was such a ridiculous success. Basically, as long as I'm doing what I do with Hospital Records and with drum and bass, I want there to be a Hospitality on the Beach every summer. So, 11th or 15th of July, just go to hospitalityonthebeach.com. Sign up through our website and Facebook event for exclusive access to pre-sale tickets. But that's not all. Do you remember the barbecues at Studio 338? They were absolutely amazing. Well, we're coming back, and we're coming back for a Christmas special barbecue. 15th of December. Some of my very, very fondest memories of DJing are from Studio 338. I'm so excited to come back. It's going to be absolutely amazing. This is the title track from the Krakota EP, Sea for Miles. Shout in on Instagram from Sick Nimpson. He says, big up Tony, absolutely loved Hospitality in the Park. Superb festival and every set I saw was amazing, especially Bookham. My hobby this weekend will be working on my old TVR Chimera. I've had it 12 years and I love working on it as much as driving it. This weekend I'll be changing the front brakes and tracking down an exhaust leak with some D&B coming from the decks in the garage. That sounds good. I like that. And I've got to give a shout out to the chairman who's started secondary school, and he's absolutely loving it. He's really enjoying the bus journey. He has to take 2 buses, doing it all on his own. He absolutely insists that he does not want to be taken. Very proud of him for that. But he's also, and this is very cool, there's an after school club on Wednesday for Warhammer 40k, and I have to confess I had to look it up to see exactly what it was, and I like it. It's fun. But after he finished his homework last night, he was straight upstairs to his desk, kind of like very carefully cutting away these figures, gluing them together before painting. So a big shout out to the Warhammer 40k crew. It's going to be an interesting rabbit hole to go down, but I was always up for a game of soldiers as a kid, so yeah, bring it on. Holly May 1993 says, I'm flying back from a week's holiday in sunny Cyprus to the UK tomorrow. I'll be shivering at Gatwick tomorrow night. Degs, Game of Clones, what a total banger. I had that on repeat all week along with Just 1 Second Apex remix. Mitch Ross says, Hospitality in the Park was the bomb. Thank you and the team for an amazing time. The mud didn't even bother me at all. I am right now smoking a lamb leg over some cherry wood for dinner. A few beers and bass to see me through. Big love. Even though I've given up meat, you're making me hungry. Don't do that. Thank you. Miss Baltica is saying, I'm going to EGX Berlin tomorrow. It's a gaming convention. I'm going to take part in my first ever cosplay contest, although I do cosplay for the last 3 years. Let's see if there's some Xbox booth so that I can play Forza Horizon. Oh, I don't even know if we're allowed to talk about that. Anyway, all will be revealed very soon if you don't already know. Honestly, I don't know where I am with the NDA, etc. Now we're heading over to Med School. Oh, the Med School Warehouse XL was absolutely sick, and this man played a devastatingly strong set. Bop. He is in Untitled Pattern mode from the new Untitled Patterns EP. This is UP64, and a massive shout to everyone who came down to Asia in Deptford on Monday night for a totally intimate session with Bob. You can squeeze about 40 people into this tiny little arch venue, but it's lovely. It's got a little bar, it's got decks, they got nice beer, nice cocktails. Very, very intimate. Don't try and walk through the mirror at the end like I did. I thought that was like a doorway into another room, and I banged my nose. Massive shout out to Alex Bob, just for being a complete G. And if you don't know the Untitled Pattern series, get to know them. They are absolutely original, beautiful, completely new twist on techno and drum and bass. Deep in recording sessions for my album at the moment. I've got to give a huge shout out to Sydney B, who I haven't seen for 30 years. She's an incredible operatic, kind of contemporary vocalist. She's a soprano. She uses a lot of extended techniques, and she was here all day yesterday working on a tune that she really, really brought to life. I think it's going to be the last track on my next album. Totally different, very unusual. A lot of you probably won't like it, but I love it. Big shout out to Sid. New music now from Primate. This is called Illusion. Quite nicely flows from the bop actually, because the kind of road sound on this reminds me of a song about my dog. Like Ella Bassista says, hi Tony, can I have a shout out please for myself and the whole crew at Idea Company? We're having a Macmillan coffee morning today, trying to raise some money for cancer support while I'm playing one of your podcasts, episode 233, which is my absolute favourite, in the background. It made my day if you could do this shout. Not much planned for me for this weekend as I'm in the process of moving house. So please keep fingers crossed it will all go smooth. Thank you, one love. Yes, Ella, you got it. Alton Flufiska says a shout out to all the drum and bass lovers in Stavanger. Yes, my Norwegian massive. Oh, when I was at the merchandise desk at Hospitality in the Park signing stuff, 3 guys came up who are from Geiranger in Norway. Now Geiranger is a tiny little town at the end of one of the longest fjords in Norway, and that's where my grandmother comes from. And her and her dad used to run a tiny little hotel, the Geiranger Hotel, which is, I think, it's grown a bit bigger now. Anyway, family business. I had a great uncle who was part of the Norwegian resistance. They used to hide up in the kind of like the cliffs overlooking the fjord and throw homemade bombs on the occupying Germans. So yeah, history there came to life at the signing desk at Hospitality in the Park. And as you can tell, this podcast is brought to you entirely live, and I've completely messed up this mix, but it's cool. It actually doesn't matter too much because I'm talking over it while the beats are bumping away. And this is just to prove to you that nothing is pre-recorded in the world of the Hospital podcast. God, that was a bit ropey, I'm sorry about that. Yeah, apologies to Lowriderz for totally messing. Your intro's really good, actually. Yeah, I advise you to go and track it down and listen to it without me failing to mix it in. This is called Around Me on the amazing Cosmos label. Big shout out to Roman. Big shout out to Andy, Electro Soul System, the guys who run it. Consistently brilliant quality control. You see, there are some very, very good things coming out of Russia. I'm not going to get into politics, but I'm going to talk about the positive things. There's some amazing music by people like Bop, Electro Soul System, Cosmos. An artist upcoming have got a new release by Missing. There are some brilliant producers. There are some brilliant raves. We love Matryoshka dolls here in the Coleman household. And back in the days when I used to drink it, I did really, really enjoy high quality vodka.
Well now, if there's anything you should need, just let me know. I'd be very pleased to do it for you.
Shout in from Vincent Sendra, who says, I liked your early story of when you started and you went into a store and your music was labelled gay jungle, and you said that you've been proud of making that for 22 years. Well, yeah, I'm proud of making all types of jungle and drum and bass and releasing it.
If there's anything you should need,
it doesn't matter what some idiot calls it. In any case, that is a compliment as far as I'm concerned. And Vincent says, can I have a shout out to my dog Dottie and myself for giving me strength being disabled and homeless for 2.5 years now. No drinking or addiction going on at all. I'm just disabled. You're treated as less than a human in the land of the free here in the Bay Area. Thanks for the love. Lottie is a licensed service dog, 8 years old, Cairn Terrier, who has listened to many podcasts in every hotel that I can afford. Thanks for the music and the humility. I was hooked 22 years ago. The band on our tour bus was like what it is now. All of that noise, but I won them over one at a time. Vincent, massive respect to you for staying clean for 2.5 years. And I wish you well and all the luck on your journey. Okay, we're going to stay in Russia for a bit. More bop now. Untitled Pattern, number 62. So you just know that there are about 48 unreleased Untitled Patterns on Bop's hard drive. I do think he needs to do an all-nighter. because when he DJs, when he plays all of this music and mixes it together, it's totally hypnotic and it's unlike anything else you will ever experience. Lol, just got shouting from Whiny, who says, yeah, I'm assembling IKEA furniture all day. Woo! Chris Fryer says, hi Tony, really hope yesterday went well. The live videos looked amazing. Obviously this came in on Sunday. Typically I missed it again due to work. I'm currently sat in Cyprus. Why is everyone in Cyprus at the moment? Halfway home after 8 weeks in Iraq. Oh, okay Chris, fair enough. If only I got back a few days earlier. Fingers crossed you do it again next year and I can make it. Obviously you and the gang kept me sane with the podcast that I was able to download. The Inja one was on repeat. I absolutely love his outlook on life as well as his taste of classics. Bookham's Horizons is in my top 5 all-time tunes. I'm loving the new Hospital releases, especially Danny's stuff. The Haven't You Heard sample is absolutely genius. All the best to the whole crew, Chris. Now, Chris Fryer, I've had a couple of shouts in from him and he sent me a photo of his amazing Chinook. So he works in the Navy, he pilots a Chinook helicopter and he basically does search and rescue. Usually where there's been hurricanes and natural disasters. He's an absolute G, drum and bass head, keeps in touch, love it. Big up Chris. And big up to everyone out there who is keeping people safe. And no big ups to people who are putting other people in harm's way. Oh, another car shout now. Focused Fum says, this is Tom from Milton Keynes. Love the show and I love the hospital vibe. My main hobby is cars. This weekend I'm working on my Nissan Skyline, which I crashed last year. It's almost fixed and I'm trying my best to get it sorted. Big up Tony and the hospital crew, one love. Actually, keeping on the kind of car theme, I've got to give a massive shout out to Rich and Angie. Rich is one of the guys who runs the promo at the Santa Pod Raceway, which is up near Northampton. I've told you about a really, really fun med school show that we did there at the beginning of the summer. Well, he invited me to bring the boys up, the chairman and the secretary general, for a day's drag racing, and it was the European finals. It was absolutely amazing. What a brilliant day. The boys loved it. Just the noise, the smell, the sound going around the pits, the stunt arena, watching the monster trucks, and Terry Grant, the stunt driver. Oh my gosh. I'm not a petrol head, but it completely blew me away. It's something totally different. It's so nice to do different things that you've never done before. And they both came down to hospitality in the park and had a wicked time. And Angie, you were brilliant with my boys. Thank you for playing cards with them and keeping them busy and stopping them from tearing each other's eyes out with their fingers, which is what normally happens. No, they're good lads most of the time. So our final tune from the little Russian excursion is by Missing, who appeared on the last Sick Music, and he's got an EP out now. This is called Mistakes. And I think yesterday was probably the last warm day in London. It's starting to get cold now. I almost put the heating on last night, but I'm holding off. However, I've just had a delivery of logs. So after I've finished recording this podcast, I'm going to go outside and repack the log shed. True junglist. So more about the Christmas special on the 15th of December at Studio 338. The tickets go on pre-sale on the 5th of October. You can sign up right now using the Hospitality Instagram bio, the Facebook page or the website. It's going to be our first After Dark club show in London for over 2 whole years. There will be a full Christmas market. We'll be bringing back the Hospital Christmas Photo Chop competition. Yes! Some of the most embarrassing photos ever are in our Photo Chop archive. You can contribute to the new one. For each ticket sold, a charitable donation will be made to Shelter from the Storm charity. There will be mulled winey exclusive appearance. There'll be mince pies, Santa hats, reindeer antlers, toffee apples and mulled cider. And obviously it's going to be fancy dress. It doesn't say there's going to be cats on skateboards though, which apparently there were at Hospitality in the park, although I didn't see any myself. Maybe they got stuck in the mud. Now, 2 of our key artists are hosting their own shows very, very soon. So Carlos Spy presents his dubplate style show at Studio 338. It's his debut solo show on the 26th of October, and it is a London Halloween rave. Check out the lineup, it's unbelievable. So Spy presents dubplate style with high contrast, Spy, Lensman, New Tone playing a jungle set, Critical Impact, Uncle Doug's, yes Uncle Doug's, smashed up the park. There will also be a Blast Arena featuring DJ Dye presents The Archives. Yes, Dye going back to his roots. There will be Fracture, Need for Mirrors, Kyrist, Boo, special guest Shadow Child on a jungle set tip. It'll be the debut solo dubplate style show from Carlos Spy in London, and it's the only place to be in London this Halloween. Trust me, it will be amazing. Now, dBridge has finally made his album on Exit Records, and it is a real journey through different tempos, different styles. I've chosen a couple of tunes, and this is the first of them. This is dBridge with Kid Drama. It's called Whiz Kishin or Whizkin. Absolutely gorgeous. Massive shout out to Darren. Congratulations on your album, mate. Well done. If you're not the kind of producer who can bang them out, but if you're the kind of producer who really agonises over details, it can be very, very difficult and torturous making an album and then releasing it because you're bearing your soul. So absolute respect to you, Darren. Shouting from Science of Sound, who says, I'd love a shout out to Duke Nukem, my fiance, fellow drum and bass raver, massive hospital and med school fan like me, and tonight is date night live. Whoa! So if it's uploaded in time, we'll be pre-drinking to the podcast. This goes out to you. Al Carnegie says, good morning Tony, I'm doing a bit of clothing customization today, adding patches, I'm dyeing stuff, etc, having fun with it. And I'm from South London too. And DJ Fusion 79 says, I'll be enjoying a Sunday afternoon's lawn bowls competition and maybe I'll have a mix. My hobbies often surprise people. Okay, well I hope the weather holds out for you for the lawn bowls. And Matt CD is camping in the peaks this weekend. D&B soundtrack on the drive up currently. Yes, Matt. Love the peaks. Absolutely amazing part of the world. If I wasn't so deeply entrenched in drum and bass, in making it, in supporting artists, in releasing it, in going out and performing it, then I would spend my days wandering around beautiful hills and mountains. But I can't do that because I'm so busy doing drum and bass. So my hills, my mountains, my streams, my skies, they're all in the music. Beautiful music from dBridge and Kid Drama. Really lovely. And what may seem a stylistic juxtaposition to you now, we're going into a Kings of the Rollers tune from their Rave Alarm EP. It's called Euphoria. This is kind of the Kings of the Rollers showing their kind of more mellow side. Kind of showing how sensitive they are. Almost, dare I say it, kind of bearing their souls. Massive shout out to Voltage, to Serum and Blade Runner, and of course to Inja for absolutely tearing apart several new ones on Saturday. Incredible. Got to give a shout out to High Contrast for his live band set as well in the main stage. Just before I went on to DJ, they played an absolute humdinger of a show. Lincoln, well done mate. He says, I'm gearing up for the long weekend here in Canberra. Please may I have a shout for my baby daughter Frankie, who's being raised on love and drum and bass. That is a good combination, that's a good formula. Always add some drum and bass into the bottle with the milk. Megwan89 says, I can no longer see your face without seeing the Rocky Horror Picture Show. You're scarred for life, I'm really sorry about that. Bab says, is recovering from last weekend a hobby? It's already this weekend. How can you still be recovering from last weekend? Delucifer is taking care of fishes. And Alex Dabari Gur says, I'm playing roller derby in Utrecht. Skate and bass festival needs to happen. That is quite niche, actually. Roller skating and drum and bass. Shouted from Neck Tax, who says, hi Tony, I hope you're well. I'm missioned down from Newcastle to Hospitality in the Park. It was the best drum and bass experience I have ever had. I intended to see you at the signing and get a little shout video for my 51-year-old dad, but I missed the opportunity. He's been getting into liquid over the last couple of years and he listens to all your podcasts. Massive shout out to Neck Tax's dad. If it were possible to give Jason from Morpeth a shout out, it would make his year. Yes, Jason from Morpeth. You're just a young one, you're only 51. The whole world of drum and bass, beyond liquid, is open to you. Embrace it, make the most of it, enjoy the journey. Trust me, it keeps you young. Little HC, not to be confused with High Contrast, says, I am rowing a marathon. There's a big event at CrossFit Dawn where lots of us will be rowing marathons to raise money for cancer research. I'll be seeing if I can get any hospital records music playing to keep us all going. I have heard, and this is purely anecdotally, that is very, very good for rowing. Not that I would know, because I know absolutely nothing about rowing. I have rowed a boat in the lake in Hyde Park, and I did enjoy it. Now, another event for your diary in London. This is actually Danny Byrd's first big solo event in London. It's going to be massive. It's Danny Byrd presenting Atomic Funk with Jungle Jam at E1 in London. The lineup is like this. The Danny Byrd Atomic Funk album party is a 2-hour set from Danny. There's the Brooks Brothers, Molly Collins, Kenny Ken, Unglued, Man of the Moment, Ramjack, Carousel, Ragga Twins, and Texas MC. Jungle Jam features Congo Natty, Dillinger, Benny Page, Chopsticks, Dubplate, Remark, Daisy, Jungle Jam DJs, Skibbity and Jakes. 2nd of November, E1, London. Stick it in your diary. Now this is a wicked tune. It's a brand new tune by RQ and it's called Interplay. On the very fine Blue Martin label, who tweeted recently that he was going to release 4 albums before the end of the year. Now, Chris Marigold, aka Blue Martin, is also my booking agent and he runs Clinic Talent from the Hospital Records office. Not quite sure how he's going to get 4 albums out before the end of the year, but we'll see. We'll monitor his progress and maybe get him in to talk about it. How does he live this double life? This is a tune, by the way. Right back to the Pull the Plug days, 1999. shout in from Arrested Light Photography, who says, I love the podcast. They often keep me company while I'm out photographing the night sky here in New Zealand. I've been a drum and bass fan since the mid-90s, but after leaving the UK in 2005, I lost touch with it, but your podcasts have really got me back on board. It'd be awesome if you could fit in a shout for me. Night sky photography, that sounds like a brilliant hobby. I'd love to have a hobby like that. Martin Ross Photo says, hey Tony, doing all my hobbies tomorrow. I'm engineering sound for my mate's EP launch and doing some photography too. Always loved your show and the D&B vibes keep me smiling. Well, that's what it's for. So I'm glad it works. Massive shout out to Benjamin Beach, who is my conceptual photographer of choice, and you'll find out why with my next album, who is actually currently out in China. 8 minutes ago he just sent me this message, and I'm photographing abandoned buildings, of course. This is cool. So Matt Hansel says, because basically I asked everyone what their hobby was and it wasn't allowed to be doing anything on their phone, which I know is a contradiction in terms because they have to tell me on their phone. So he says, I'm currently riding mountain bikes with my slightly annoying but generally lovely girlfriend Kate in the Swiss Alps. If it's out in time, we'll be listening to the podcast on the drive out. Give her a shout. Cheers, Matt. Yes, massive shout out to the slightly annoying but generally lovely Kate. Kate, if it's if it makes you feel any better, everybody is at least slightly annoying, if not extremely annoying. So you're doing pretty well. Drunk Chef Lee wants to shout out for all the kitchen lads going to be sweating our tits off in Auckland. Sure, Tony. Fair enough. That's not a hobby though, is it? Well, I don't know, maybe sweating your tits off is. Unclear just says, yes, Tony, tell them. What? Tell them what? Anyway. K10K says, that's a cool idea. That's not a hobby. We're after hobbies here. What are you doing this weekend? What are you hobbyising? And on this particular weekend, I can tell you that my hobby my hobby is my life really, so I'm sort of doing that. But it's going to be interesting. On Sunday, I'm performing my debut set at Big Fish, Little Fish at Fabric, along with Chris in Perspective and Steve Spearhead BC. It's an interesting event. You have to be under 9 years old to attend. So anyone who's older than 9 can't go. Luckily, the Secretary General doesn't turn 9 until about 2 weeks after the event. So he's bringing some mates along, obviously with a couple of parents. But it's going to be my first ever rave playing to an audience aged 0 to 9. And I've been told specifically not to dumb it down. Make it real. And talking about not dumbing things down and keeping things real, this is one of the tunes of the summer. It's out in a couple of weeks. It's the VIP of Cocooned by Bungle on 31 Records. We're heading towards the end of the podcast. There's one more tune to go. So I'm going to kind of shut up and let you enjoy the music because I've been talking all the way through. My name's London Electricity. You can reach me on my Facebook. You can reach me on my Instagram. You can even reach me on good old Twitter. Yes, I do use it sometimes just to kind of laugh at certain people's tweets. And we do have a little known email address, which is podcast@hospitalrecords.com, which gets looked at about 3 times a year. And if you want to send your demos in, we have a nice demo inbox on the homepage of our website. It's easier on desktop. On mobile, you kind of have to scroll right down to the bottom, so you'll find it a lot easier on a computer. Big love. After this tune, you're going to hear an amazing, amazing tune by dBridge, which is called You're a Star, Reprise, featuring Alia, Fresco. Thank you for being on this journey we call drum and bass. Thank you for loving beautiful music. Thank you for promoting peace and being good to one another and encouraging other people to be compassionate. And don't give any time to people who aren't. The world's full of it at the moment. You know exactly who I'm talking about. Big love. Have a wicked weekend. Have a wicked week. Until the next podcast, I'm sending you my love.
Baby, you're